everyone, and welcome to episode 10 of Bucs UK TV. We're into double figures now. We are positively prepubescent, and I am joined today with Tim and Phil as our regulars, and our long-time listener, first-time caller. Hello, Dom.
Hello.
Tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm Dom, and I've been a member of the Bucs UK since 1989. Bit disappointed that it's taken 10 episodes of this podcast to finally get some glamour on, but you've succeeded. So well done, mate. Yeah. Long-time fan, long-time sufferer.
Fantastic. Lovely to have you along on the ride.
Thanks, mate.
As ever, we want all of you along for the ride, so please do keep sending us your thoughts. It's really great to see all the posts on the forum. You can obviously also email us at mail@bucsuk.org, send us your thoughts on an email, send us a video, and you can also WhatsApp your thoughts or video to 07311 212 713. This is the cheesy begging bit. We're begging you, please subscribe to us on YouTube and please press the thumbs up for the video. I've now worked out from my kids who watch it that actually this is really important for the algorithms, and it gets us right up the charts. So as much as I don't want to be a Minecraft, Fortnite fanatic, you do have to do that stuff because it really helps us out. So thank you. And so, as usual, today we'll do a run through of what we thought of the Chargers. We'll have an update on the competitions, and we will do a preview of what we think is going to happen against the Bears. So straight on to the Chargers. So that's right. Watching the Bucs really is bad for your heart rate. I think we can all relate to that. But we're going to start on a high note because a win's a win. We'll always take a win. It wasn't like it was going to look like it was going to be a win, was it, Tim?
Certainly not, Kieron. It reminded me of the Bucs of the last few seasons. Get off to a great start and then throw 20 points away like confetti. The only difference this year is when we were 24-7 down, I was still confident we would pick up that win. Last year, if you'd asked me, we were in various situations. Jameis would have got us within 7 points, but then thrown the killer interception for us to lose the game. At no point did I feel on Sunday we were ever going to lose, even at 24-7. It was a great, great day. A couple of other great things. It was great to see fans in the stadium. Even though the noise might not have been great, that was a big plus for the Bucs and the NFL in general to have another stadium with fans in.
Definitely a moral victory there, and of course a technical victory. And as you said, Tim, it was about the comeback, the point scoring. So let's start with the offensive side of the ball. Phil, I mean, what was your take on the O this time? Bit of a game of two halves, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think if I'm on my wish list now, it'd be very good if the Bucs could actually play 4 quarters instead of 2 in most games. I thought the offense looked okay. We set off well, straight down, scored, then it stuttered. But I like Tim. I never felt like we were going to lose the game because of you always thought that Brady. You've seen Brady with the Patriots do this so many times, bring them back from the brink of a disaster to did it, and that's exactly what happened in the second half. I thought in the second half they were fantastic.
Well, you two, I'm amazed and impressed by your faith in equal measure. I wasn't doubting, but I was panicking. Dom, how did you find it?
I was convinced we were going to lose. I thought it's all these years of suffering. And like Tim said about Jameis, I was convinced that was going to happen as well. But it's all about this man, isn't it? It's all about number 12. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. That second half, he was arrowing the balls in. The highlight for me was the look he gave Kieron Vaughn when he dropped that ball on 3rd down. At the end of the 4th quarter, Jameis would have gone up to him, patted him and picked him up. Brady just looked at him like he wanted to kill him. And I thought that was fantastic. He's demanding so much from those receivers and running backs. It's just Wonderful.
And they respond
Loved
to
it.
that. Obviously, that can go one of two ways. You can either put someone into their shell because they don't respond to that pressure, or they can thrive. And it seems like they are thriving so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tim,
I
you gave a
agree.
general introduction, and Dom's done a great job of showing off that he's the only one in the world who's got his Brady shirt already. Mine's coming any day now, apparently. What were some of the highlights for you, Tim?
I've got one player in particular I'd like to give credit to specifically. It's an easy call. It's Mike Evans. For a guy to throw in 122 yards on a touchdown on basically one leg, that was a very impressive effort. Considering we were out without Godwin, it could have been quite easy for him to sit on the sidelines, do nothing. He toughed it out for the whole game. And then behind him, Scotty Miller. You can see the faith Brady is starting to have in Miller coming more and more. So I predict over the next few weeks, Miller's going to have a couple of big games of 8-10 catches possibly coming up.
Oh, that would be great to see. I think you're right. Mikey had definitely lost a step or two. I think for me, you're right to praise the receivers because that's how we got the points on the board quickly. But Phil, I know we were talking about this and you were a big fan of the running game.
Yeah, I was. I mean, we had Fournette out, so it was all down to Rojo mainly Rojo, and I think he did a great job. Well, when he first came to the Buccaneers, one of his biggest minuses coming out of college and in the first season was his ability to protect the ball. He was always dropping the ball, fumbling, but I thought he did a superb job, just getting there. Getting the yards, just getting 2 or 3 here, 4 or 5 there, first down here, first down there. I think he did a superb job. I really think he's. I think he's
grown up.
beam.
I know that sounds like a really patronising phrase, but just in this year, you've seen game-on-game improvements, haven't we?
Oh yes, I'm very, very impressed with him. I think he's turning into the running back we always hoped he was going to be. I was very impressed, and also it was nice to see Vaughan get in the mix. And funny, I saw that when Brady looked at Vaughan and thought, well, that's not very nice. But the boy scored. He scored eventually, didn't he? So
yeah,
good debut. Good debut.
And Dom,
I would agree with you on Ronald Jones, Phil. The key part, if you look at all these big runs, everyone came to the right behind Wirfs and Jensen. That side of that offensive line in the run game is as good as we've had for quite a few years.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
In fairness to Ronald Jones, he ran hard. My one criticism of his, and I'll probably bring it up a couple of times, he reminds me of Michael Clayton. He cannot catch the ball. He's got the hardest set of hands in the world, and he just doesn't look comfortable catching that ball. If I was Arians now, that would be his training regime. Don't worry about running the ball, son. Just get out and catch 100 balls every day.
That's a really good point. And actually, isn't it funny? I mean, Dom, I'll ask you this, because the last thing we've mentioned has been the O-line. And actually, I think in almost every podcast so far, it's been the first or second thing we've mentioned. So would you say there's improvement there?
Oh, 100%. And I think it was on most people's wish lists as well, the O-line. Yeah, they managed to keep no sacks on Brady, and to keep Bosa quiet was superb effort, I thought. He got time. I mean, he gets rid of the ball quickly anyway, but when he did hold on, when he had to step up, I thought the O-line was fantastic. And I saw today they got worse versus Bosa. They'd isolated every play, and he was absolutely immense. Fantastic pick. Fantastic.
It's amazing for a rookie, isn't it, to be able to do that?
It is.
Really hard position.
Yeah,
super.
Yeah.
He really has. He really has come in leaps and bounds in the last few weeks. He started well and just progressed. And I saw on NFL.com that we've got one of the top 5 offensive lines in on the league now. I thought, whoa.
Yeah, you wouldn't have said that a few weeks ago.
No.
I think the difference for me in the game was, I think all season long they've done a cracking job in pass protection. But I think that and in fact the commentators picked up on this. In the run game, they were actually getting a push, and normally it's, we're standing up and we're pass pro, but actually, and we're not engaging and trying to drive them back. But I think, we had some success with that. And I think the Chargers are no shirks when it comes to their D-line either.
Yeah. The key part for me, for any offensive lineman, is you don't hear his name called in the game. If that happens, he's had a good day. And we only had the one holding penalty on Smith. Apart from that, They were superb.
Yeah, they were.
I agree. Yeah.
No, I was just about to say, we haven't really emphasised how good Brady was second half. That was Tom Brady back in his Super Bowl heydays. He just picked apart that Chargers defense all afternoon. It was absolutely superb.
He was just so calm, and as you say, he commanded the respect of everyone around him. He didn't flap, he wasn't slinging it, as in it wasn't like a sort of gun show, but he just got the job done, didn't he?
I also noticed that the speed and the power of that ball was coming out of his hands. For a 43-year-old bloke to fling a ball that hard and that accurate, it was absolutely immense.
Well, we can't forget the first half entirely. There was the challenge of the deep out persists, I think.
Yeah.
But that was the real long side of the field, and the pass before it, the same play went to Mike Evans. The respect of Mike Evans, and no disrespect to Justin Watson, the defensive back can play it totally different against those two receivers.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. So I think, overall, big thumbs up for offense. Now we'll move on to the other side of the ball. Another game of two halves, Dom. I think let's talk about the big plays first.
Well, the biggest play was right at the end of the first half, wasn't it, with Sue? Because without that play, whether we would have come back, I don't know, because it changed everything. All the talks at halftime would have been totally different. The Bucs were so pumped. It showed Brady just sat there, just looking at his clipboard and that. And then all of a sudden, we got the ball back. And we went in with another.
It's like, what? Get your helmet, get your helmet.
Yeah. It just changed it. And then it zoomed in on Sue. I mean, you've never seen such a specimen of a man. He's just got arms like tree trunks, hasn't he? I think he's been superb to take over from McCoy. I think he's been brilliant.
Also he's had, I'm a huge fan of Sue, and I'll say it, before he joined the Bucs, I couldn't stand the guy. I think he's really reined it in, and he's got a grip on it, and he's controlled from whistle to whistle. He's intense, and he's a force.
Yeah, he is a force. Definitely.
He has been a great pickup. I'm in the same camp as you, Kieran. I hated the pickup to start with, but nothing but impressed with the guy. The other thing I would just mention quickly is Anthony Lynn for the San Diego Chargers. He helped the Bucs win that game by, why didn't he just kneel? He could have done that. They would have gone in 24/7 up. It would have been comfortable for them. And as Dom said, it might not have been the game changer that it turned into be.
No.
One little typo there. It's the Los Angeles Chargers.
Sorry, yes, I do apologise.
That's right. I'm still calling them the Oakland Raiders. I think they're still going to be the Oakland Raiders for me for about another decade till I probably catch up. We got that preview, so I wonder how many times we'll get that wrong later on in the season.
Yeah.
Phil, what was your take on the defense?
Oh, the defense first half. I thought the secondary wanted to introduce into each other. I thought it was as if we got all the accolades of the defensive player of the week and rookie defensive player of the week, and they must have gone to the heads because they just didn't look like the same players. Devin White was very quiet, and as I said, the secondary were just all over the place. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, to be quite honest. Fortunately, they pulled it all together a bit, and we and as I said earlier on, it'd just be nice if we could actually play for 4 quarters.
What do you think was the difference maker? Do you think it was just attitude?
Yeah, I think it was. I think they just sort of all come together and thought, right, lads, this is just not good enough. We've just got to pull it all together, and they did. They are a supreme defense. One of the, I think I said it in the last podcast. Jason Lighty deserves a medal for the players that he's drafted in that defense. It really is looking a unit for the ages, to be quite honest. Because don't forget, still very, apart from Pierre Paul and Sue, they're all exceedingly young. They've got a long way to go. So, but they pulled it all together second half. They kept them going, because one thing that did surprise me though is that I didn't realize how good Justin Herbert was. He really is going to be a superb. If he carries on playing like he did on Sunday, then he is going to be a superb quarterback.
They made some big changes though at halftime. We were rushing the kitchen sink at him during the first half.
Yeah.
Second half, we rushed 4 or 5 people and dropped back into zone. And he had more trouble with those dump off passes second half than he did first half. And that's why the couple of long throws came in. We just played it much better with the adjustment second half.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that sounds a bit like they've got game tape on us now, don't they? And everyone is, the secret's out. We're quite rush happy, and I think that's why we got beat deep. Because as soon as you can get, keep the running back in, keep the tight end in, and someone's going to get open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one player we haven't mentioned in that defense who was outstanding all day was Levante David.
Oh yeah.
Phil mentioned how quiet Devin White was. Levante David just made up for everything in that team on Sunday. He showed that the re-signing of him in the next off-season is a key part to keeping this defense together.
Yeah, that one play where the man was mid-air and he was just about to get the first down, and David caught him in the air and just threw him back.
That was just amazing. It was third and 3 or something like that.
Yeah,
and the guy
he was
got
reaching.
2 yards
He was
going to
get there.
He was going to get there, and he just changed of direction in midair.
Yeah, slammed him down. It's like a wrestling move. Brilliant.
Yeah, I think he's definitely still. I mean, all the credit seems to be going to Devin White is in the noise, but he's still the unsung hero. David? I think.
Yeah.
He's the key that makes it all still go. The whole defense.
Yeah, he does. He makes it tick, definitely.
So then, again, a third of the game, onto special teams. Again, it seems like it was a game of two halves, wasn't it, Phil?
Yeah, it was. We did our normal sort of miss a field goal, and I could see everybody we went up to take it, and we all went, oh, he's missed it, and here we go all over again. But we pulled it around second half again, and we started running the ball back and getting some good yardage and things like that. So yeah, again, it seemed like it wasn't so much one part of the team didn't turn up in the first half. It's like the whole damn team didn't turn up in the first half, But second half again, they pulled it together, and when he went to his second field goal, everybody breathed in, and it went through.
I think the difference is this time. I was surprised when he missed a kick. That's the first time for about 3 or 4 years when a Tampa Bay kicker's missed, and I've been surprised because it was such a shock to the system. And I think Pinion as well with the punting was superb. He pinned them back twice in their own 20-yard line. He had kicks of over 56, 57, 58 yards, something like that.
Yeah, I've got that here, Dom. He actually pinned him in front of the 5 and the 9.
Yeah,
and
superb.
3 punts, 57, 58, 56. That was a change of field position.
Yeah.
That was his best day as a punter. Ignore his kickoffs because he'll just bag everything out of the end zone anyway. That's just a given. But where he'd struggled was a decent punting game, and he really stepped up on Sunday. I will say for Sucker, every time he missed that field goal, but every time you look at it, virtually all of his kicks split the uprights. They're not the Matt Gay and so on, where they are just inside and so on. There's not, he doesn't miss many. So that, again, I agree. That was a bit of a shocker when he missed it.
Yeah.
And I did tweet, the Matt Bryan curse has struck again for a moment. But luckily that soon disappeared.
Yeah.
And I think, again, credit by omission because we didn't talk about it, but the O-line. The O-line both on the punting, the O-line both on the field goal units. I noticed the Chargers didn't really send many. They were more in return mode on punts. But again, it was clean, the snaps, the holds, the line. No one really got through. No one really had a chance. And I thought that was a big part of the success.
Yeah. I haven't looked at the stat, but I'm not quite sure actually how many penalties we actually gave up during the game. I really can't remember, but it wasn't.
It felt like less than normal.
It wasn't the usual 10 or 12, of which 6 was stupid.
And they weren't key situations.
No.
The one that did have me
Carlton
with my...
Davis.
Sorry?
Sorry, Carlton Davis did a dumb penalty, didn't he, on third down?
Yeah.
And there was no reason, silly holding call. We got them. It was nothing thrown.
And the other one that I wish we could have had back was obviously Mike Evans losing his rag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With every genius.
Yeah. You take out part of Mike Evans, you take away a big part of his game as well. So I don't mind that penalty, to be truthful. Yeah, it's stupid, but don't take away his aggressiveness or he loses 50% of his game.
So we've got our magic wand moment of the review. So you've got your coach Arians, you've got one more thing you can fix before the Bears coming out of the Chargers. Dom, we'll come to you first. Where are you going to wave your wand?
My magic wand will be waved with no more drop passes. Quite simple.
Okay, we'll go down in the corner to magician Phil Jones.
If I could wave my magic wand, I just don't want any more injuries. We've got. I was looking at.
I think it's a magic sponge, not a magic wand, isn't it?
Well, the magic sponge isn't working, so we'll go with the magic wand. We've got OJ Howard, which I think is a massive loss. He was starting to look like a real favourite Brady target, and he started looking at the inactive list or didn't train list, and it's all wide receivers, and. Godwin's out this week, I think, isn't he? And Evans has got one. Was limping badly, and so if we've got a magic wand, it's just no more injuries, please.
I mean, I'm really hoping that all those do not plays are actually just players being given a rest, and they have to log when they don't participate in training. But with the short week, and we'll come on to talk about the short week, I think anyone with a bruise, fine, just sit it out. Tim, what magic do you want to work?
A similar side to Phil would be the athletic trainers not getting ill or COVID during the week, so they can treat all these injuries. They are the key guys. Short week turnaround as it is. Fournette isn't going to train at least until Wednesday, looking dodgy that he's going to play. So these athletic trainers have got to earn their money now over the next couple of days and get a few more bodies. Not just us, all teams are struggling at this moment. You can see how lack of preseason and conditioning is already starting to affect teams.
Okay, well, of course, it's time for our members to have their say. So last week we heard from Scott Handley, and I said, Scott, I haven't got a photo of you. So Scott sent me a photo. It feels like a work in progress still, Scott. I'll be honest with you. Maybe if you say something nice for next week, do we get to see the front of you? I'm not quite sure.
He's got his tree up early, hasn't
he? This game showed if you're a glass half empty or a glass half full person. A stirring comeback and a mean defense in the second half. However, but for a random act of kindness by the Chargers just before halftime, I don't think he's giving Sue as much credit. We would probably have lost. We won't find out how good we are until we face a step up in opposition. Yes, my glass is half empty. Well, there you have it. Christmas Grinch, Scott. He's not up for that. Neil Ferguson, a roller coaster even by Bucs standards. This was a game we would have lost last year. I couldn't see a win at halftime, but should have known better. Oh, that's a year of little faith. We may not win the Super Bowl this year. Oh, it's definitely glass half empty as well. But it's going to be an exciting every week. Roll on the next game. Quite right too. And Alex Howes, big showing from Rojo today. Brady incredible. Hope OJ and Evans are okay. Hopefully get Godwin and Leonard back next week. And I'm sure we'll talk about injuries when it comes to our preview of the week ahead. So that was the review of the Chargers. And at this point, obviously, as ever, we give thanks to Bucs Report for their help in promoting us. We do have another special offer for you this time. Those of you will remember in an earlier episode, we have a very talented artist called Michael who likes designing Bucs memorabilia. And Michael has once again decided to give Bucs UK members a special discount on some of his latest T-shirts. The link's there. I won't try and read it all out to you, but if you have a look, he's got, whereas he had that one funky design that I was wearing in the earlier podcast, he's branched out into many, and 10% discount until the 14th of October if you go to that link and buy one of his stuff. And I think the designs are pretty funky. So thank you, Michael, for offering that. And he's been really good in joining in on the forum and getting involved. So that's great to see as well. And once again, we were very touched that another member wanted to give a T-shirt away. And this has been a really nice thing we've seen every week. You'll see by the wheel of names, there are, I think, 17 people in the mix. Although if you take away the Woolards, there's probably only about 2 of them. And so thank you to Ian Costain. It's really, really kind of you. And it's really great that our members are giving back in this way. And we've known, as we've got more members, obviously, we've worked out we need to have more prizes as well. So everyone still has the same chance of winning. Okay, so thank you, Ian. And let's see who is this week's winner. I think Ian said anyone apart from a Woolard. That's what I heard. Oh, it's Michael Casey.
Well done, Michael.
Congratulations to you, Michael. You are a T-shirt better off. And you'll be pleased to hear this competition is continuing this week as well, as Phil has put forward something very special. We have, I think, the only orange Bucs UK polo in existence. Is it?
Yep, certainly is. Yeah, I had two made last time I went over, and this is the spare one.
I haven't got one. David hasn't got one. Dom hasn't got one. Tim hasn't got one.
No.
But you could have one.
No.
It's a limit, correct. Yeah.
Would it fit you, Philip, or me?
You.
All right.
So all the competitions for this week are now live. Get on there and get involved. Obviously, it being a short week with the game on Thursday night, you haven't got as long to enter, so make sure you get involved. At which point we then turn our minds forward to heading up to Soldier Field and the Windy City and what's going to happen with the Bears. So looking ahead then to the Bears, we've already talked about players, we've talked about performance. Dom, what do you think is going to be one of your biggest key to the game?
I think it'll be our defense. I think we can stop them. They've been shocking. And if we can put pressure on Foles, I was seeing he only made 26 of 42 passes. And they held them to 28 yards in running. They were shocking. Now, the Colts have got a very good D. But if we play to our potential, they're no better than us, I don't think.
I think that's right. And I think, before coming into this week, obviously they were undefeated. And I think they were the worst undefeated team I've ever seen. They've been really lucky through some of their games. Tim, what do we have to be fearful of? What's your key?
We don't have to be fearful of too much. But Phil and I thought that 2 years ago when we were there, we managed to concede 48 points. So our key to the game really is our defense is just going to stop and put pressure on Foles, and their offense will then literally fold. But this is a very, very good defense. We can't take them for granted. They've still got Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks. When the two of those play together, they are superb. And with our injuries on offense, it'll be a challenge to overcome this defense in Chicago. But saw the weather forecast earlier, it is supposed to be very good and perfect football conditions. So that'll be one less thing for us to contend with. And
it's not too late in the year that the camera opens with the temperature gauge, which I always hate in a Bucs game.
Indeed.
Phil, what would you say is your biggest key?
My biggest key is, again, go back to Rojo again. I think that we've just got to get, we did well with the running game against the Chargers, as we said earlier. And I just think we've just got to get him going again because, as I said, we are a bit banged up on with wide receivers. And I just think we've got to wear them down a bit. I really think we've got to, wear them down because they, like Tim said, they have got a superb defense. They really have. They are the backbone of that team.
The one thing that I kind of made me feel a bit saddened in the second half of the Bucs game against the Chargers was as soon as we decided we were in run mode, as soon as we were going to pound the rock and wear the clock out, it didn't work.
Yeah,
I think when they know the run's coming, then I think that's where we're going to struggle. I really liked that our first play of the game against the Chargers was play action, and it was pass, and it was aggressive, and it wasn't just let's run the ball up the middle to get everyone comfy.
No. I also think we've got, there's going to be a lot of short passes as well. I think that the tight ends are going to come into it. I think you could see Gronk come into it quite a bit, and Cameron Brate. And I just think it's going to be a short. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be sort of, it's. But I could, if we can contain the, like Tim said, if we can get at Foles, and start chasing him about a bit. He doesn't like that. So yeah.
So who's going to be your? Sorry, Phil. Who's going to be your players to watch then? Because you mentioned quite a few there.
Yeah, well, on the Buccaneers, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think the key is going to be. I don't think it's the defense, to be quite honest. And I think we've just got to get at them all the time and give our offense plenty of time down the field to to sort it out. But I think that the tight ends, as I said, Braid's going to be a key player, I think, this week, and I hope if Scotty Miller's still fit, I think Scotty Miller's going to be a good part because, as Tim said earlier, he really is getting Brady's go-to guy, isn't he?
Yeah, and we obviously send well wishes to OJ because that injury, season ending,
Yes,
and
indeed.
looked not nice.
Yeah.
So thoughts on?
I'll add one particular player, and it's Carlton Davis. If he can lock down Allen Robinson, their passing game then is gone. David Montgomery looks a bit of a cart horse in the backfield at the moment. So there's not a lot left behind Allen Robinson in that team. If you look at them all, they're not great. Cohen's out of the game or out for the season, unfortunately for them. So I don't see a great lot apart from Allen Robinson in that offense.
Yeah, because
I think Cameron Brate. I think I agree with Phil. Cameron Brate. Brady's not used him as much as what he should have done, I don't think. And I think he's going to be surprised because he never seems to drop a ball, very rarely. And I think Brate's going to be used and he's going to be a massive weapon for us, especially in the short passing, like you say. And in the red zone, because Jameis used to use him all the time in the red zone, didn't he, Brate? And he very rarely let us down. I guess the problem,
I mean, we know Brate is capable. He's clearly well paid. He's been with the team a long time. But neither he nor Gronk would describe as speedsters anymore.
No.
And that's, I think what I liked, so that deep out where to Evans where there wasn't a pick is because Brady was throwing Evans open. He threw the ball before Evans made the break. And I think the where Brady did have the pick, the pass was a little bit later. It wasn't quite thrown to the open space. And as you said, Tim, it wasn't Mike Evans on the other end of it.
No.
So if Brate and Gronk are going to have monster games, then actually I think Brady also needs to have a monster game.
Well, if you're looking for a tight end to catch the ball down the field, we haven't mentioned Tanner Hudson yet, who is that possibly that player to get that 20 yards down the field. But he hasn't played a lot with Brady, hasn't played a lot in general. But if we're looking for a pass catcher from the tight end down the field, that's got to be a man.
So that's the beauty about Brady, though, isn't it? When somebody goes down, we found somebody else. Justin Watson, for example, he played his part on Sunday, and it'll be very interesting to see what does actually go off. Yeah. One player you haven't mentioned on the who's been one of their targets for Chicago, Jimmy Graham, wasn't it, the tight end, big bloke. We don't do well against big, tall receivers, do we? And
I think a lot of people had written him off at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
but again, he's like Gronk and Brate. It's not going to be very far down the field.
No,
nowadays.
And you would assume, I don't know, you'd assume he's probably going to be covered by a linebacker. Would they give him, whereas I think the Bucs have been out of a nickel sort of 2/3 of the plays from what I've seen of the snap counts. But actually that might change a little bit because I think actually I really fancy David or White, which depending which side of the field, on Jimmy Graham. Actually, I think they could take him out.
Yeah.
I think White will step up this game. He won't like having a quietish game, certainly for his recent standards. I think we'll see him step up.
Dom, which one of the Bears do you think we need to be worried about? We talked about Allen Robinson, talked about Jimmy Graham. Anyone on the other side of the ball or?
Well, only Foles. I think because you just never know. You never know. A bit like Fitzpatrick, you just don't know which one's going to turn up. You just don't know. And
Dr.
hopefully he has a terrible
Mr.
game.
Trubisky.
Yes. Yeah. But if you keep him quiet, and like they say, if they rush him, put him down.
I mean, Foles is a capable quarterback. Trubisky's had pros and cons. It seems like they're going with Foles, but then the crowd and people were, wanting Trubisky to come back in the last game.
Yeah.
So actually, I don't know whether that's a artificial quarterback controversy. If it was me, the one I'd least like to face would be Foles, as you say.
Yeah. But hopefully that's a terrible game.
Again, if I take it back to 2 years ago when Trubisky took the Bucs apart in Chicago, he has the capability more than Foles of throwing a good pass, the run, Yeah, but he could throw some ducks in there as well. So,
Mm,
if it was me, I'd rather face Trubisky, to be honest.
yeah.
Either way, you'd hope the secondary are going to get a bit exciting because they'll want to try and feast, and maybe Winfield could come to the fore on this one. And yeah, I think probably for me, he's probably going to be one of the key players.
He's been a revelation, hasn't he? Superb. Great pick. Well done, Jason Light.
Okay, and again, then we have some views of our members, and then we'll do what we think your final predictions are. So first of all, we've got some thoughts from Gary Woolard. And Gary, I said it before, and I'll say it again. If you send me a more recent photograph, I'm happy to use it because I think Craig at some point is going to jump on you if you don't send me a better photograph. So he said, could be bad timing to have a Thursday night game. The injuries are mounting up, and it gives little time to get the likes of Godwins, Evans, Fournette, and McCoy ready to go. I think, we've all talked about that short week, and I'm really hoping again. All those did not practices were actually just about people being rested. Andy Harwood, again, shame OJ is out. Gronk is playing better by the week, and Brake can step up. He's proven and is a great red zone target. Let's hope the secondary doesn't have a wobble against Chicago this Thursday, and we should be good for a road victory. If one or two of the injuries can make it back, we will be strong. Andy, I like your positivity. I think that's great. And last but by no means least, David Cambridge, book Friday off. Who else is joining us for an overnighter? The thing, obviously, we haven't said.
Got to work for a living.
Exactly. For those of us that are in the UK, I know we sound like we moan about this all the time, but this game kicks off at 1:20 a.m. on Friday morning. So that's going to be, it's not going to be much done and dusted before 5 a.m. So, I've got the next day booked off work. David's got the next day booked off work. And we'll all be on the forum chatting through the game. So do join us and get involved. Okay, then. So money where your mouth is time. Dom, how's it going to go down?
I think it's going to be a comfortable win, but I always do. And it's going to be 21 points to the Bucs and 3 points to the Bears.
Ooh, I like that. Nice and one-sided. Phil, how are you going to call it?
I think it's going to be a lot closer than that. I agree with the 21 points. I said 21-17.
Oh, I like that. That's good. Nice and close. 4-point game. Tim, what do you think?
Slightly more comfortable than that. I still think we're good enough to win 27-13.
I've got to take my hands and my shoes off there. What's that? That's a 14-point differential.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That could be a late score by the Bucs to put the Bears out of the misery. And okay, I like that. Well, my personal prediction, I think it will be close. I think it will be low scoring. I can't see Chicago scoring many points, but I'm just worried about how active and our offense is going to be. So I'm going to say something like 17-14.
Yeah, I think so.
So I quite like the idea of that, and suck up to kick us to victory. There you go. You heard it
Straight
here.
down the middle.
Yeah.
I've just had a message here from David Montgomery. He wants to have a chat to you, Tim. Something to do with being a cart horse or something. Don't know much about that.
One of my fantasy sides, so
Brilliant.
not
Well,
starting.
so that's how we think it's going to go down. Let us know your thoughts as well. Do join us on the forum, and we'd love to enjoy the game with you. And next week we'll be back to claw over what happened at the Bears and look ahead to the forthcoming weeks. So it's goodbye from all of this lot.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
And it's goodbye from me. See you soon. Bye.